Do I look lonely? I see the shadows on my face. People have told me I don't look the same. Maybe I lost weight. I'm playing hooky with the best of the best. Put my heart on my chest so that you can see it too. I'm walking the long road, watching the sky fall. The lace in your dress tangles my neck. How do I live the death of a bachelor? Oh, oh, letting the water fall. The death of a bachelor. Oh, oh, seems so fitting for happily ever after. Ooh, how could I ask for more? Lifetime of laughter at the expense of the death of a bachelor. I'm cutting my mind off. Feels like my heart is going to burst. Alone at a table for two, and I just wanna be served. And when you think of me, am I the best you've ever had? Share one more drink with me. Smile even though you're sad. I'm walking the long road, watching the sky fall. The lace in your dress tangles my neck. How do I live the death of a bachelor? Oh, oh, letting the water fall. The death of a bachelor. Oh, oh, seems so fitting for happily ever after. Ooh, how could I ask for more? Lifetime of laughter at the expense of the death of a bachelor. The death of a bachelor. Oh, oh, letting the water fall. The death of a bachelor. Oh, oh, seems so fitting for happily ever after. Ooh, how could I ask for more? Lifetime of laughter at the expense of the death of a bachelor.
Let's do a mic check. Who with me? Mic check one. I'm sorry I'm late. Y'all know what it is. Man, I didn't have the camera set up or nothing. I didn't have the camera set up. I wasn't ready to go. My microphone wasn't plugged up. I was just not there. I'm sorry. It's Monday. I had a lot going on, a lot in my hands. I'm gonna tell you something else, loud and clear. Thank you, DC. Let me tell you something else. I had to change clothes real fast. Oh my goodness, I had on my work clothes, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get on here and talk about what I talk about today, and have my suit on. I'm just not gonna do it because it just won't match the conversation. I mean, it won't match. It'll just be some different. The wardrobe has to go with the convo, and unfortunately, I just don't think that it would have worked. However, I got on the new sage. If you could see that color, it's an unbelievable, beautiful color. It's called sage. It's called mint green, like a sage. Okay, and it's something new. It's part of the collection. And I'll be honest, it was just sitting on the rack, on my clothing rack, all my Wyatt gear and the stuff that's going to be for sale. It was sitting on the rack, and I've worn it before, but I had no intentions of wearing it today. I didn't take a shower before the show. You know how I am. I come in from the office, I get in the shower, and then I come do the show. I did not do that. So I'm gonna feel a little uncomfortable for a little while, but we're gonna get this one in as much as we can, the best I can. Y'all might not like what I have to say today. And then there's some that will appreciate what I have to say today. And we'll just go from there. We'll go from there. Um, how was everyone's weekend? How was everybody's weekend? Was it good? I had an amazing weekend. However, there was tragedy. Um, yeah, I'm getting text messages. There was tragedy over the weekend. Just to let me get this out of my system real fast, if you guys don't mind. Um, I don't know what this world is coming to, but every time you think you got it bad, there's somebody out here that has it worse. Best believe. There's always someone that has it worse than you. I mean, you could have um, a backed up weekend of disturbances, but I guarantee you there's someone out there that has it a little bit worse than you. And man, I don't, when you hear of people taking their own life and things of that nature, I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I've done some things in my life that I felt like I could never recover from. I've done some things or been part of some things, and I'm like, am I ever, can I survive this? Can I, um, is life worth living? I don't know. Is that me feeling suicidal when I ask that question? When things go so wrong in your life that you ask that question of, can I still go on? I know the death of my mom was tragic for me. The death of my grandmother was unbelievably tragic to me. And I had my mother here at that time to help me get through that. You know what's funny about that? If I may, let me give me 10 seconds to tell you something about the death of my grandmother. Trust me, it's very short. When I was a little boy, I loved my grandmother so much that I thought of her death. This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound very crazy. But I was a young man. I was probably about 10 or 11 years old. And how I remember this is I was living in the Fay apartments. And I remember in my room, I was crying. I was playing one of my little handheld games, little video games, the electric football game. I was playing it in my hand, and I just thought of my grandmother. Earlier that day, I took a nap or something like that, and I had a dream that my grandmother passed away, and it upset me. And I was mad. I was upset, mad, and I was just distraught the whole day. Later on that evening, my mom come in my room, knock on the door while I'm playing my game, and I'm crying. She didn't understand why I was crying, so I explained to her, "Ma, earlier today I had a dream that Granny died, and I couldn't get over it. I kept thinking, how would life be without my grandmother?" And I couldn't get over it. I kept crying and crying and crying. I kept trying to distract myself, but I couldn't get over it. And my mother told me, she said, "Rand, you got plenty of time with your grandmother. Trust me, you got plenty of time with your grandmother." And I remember this specifically because my mom was spot on. I did have plenty of time with my grandmother. The scariest thing about what my mom said was, "Hey, Rand, your grandmother will probably live till you're about 40 years old. 40 years old." Now, of course, I don't have to keep going on with this story because you already know my grandmother died when I was 40 years old. And it was the spookiest thing. And it was one of those things that I will always remember. And I just, it's these things that you go back and I remember as a kid, those things, those days that, the people that love you the most have the most information and the most things to give you, the most things you carry into life. As a grown man, I carry a lot of the things my mother told me, my grandmother told me. I carry a lot of those things into life, and I feed it into my children. And I just remember my mother told me, my grandmother, you'll be 40 years old now. To an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old, 40 years old sounds like historic. Like that sounds old as hell. And if we all know 40 is not really old, you know that. So her saying that I would have my grandmother till I'm all the way like 40, that sounded like I was gonna have her forever. Well, the year that I turned 40, my grandmother passed. And that all being said, that was a very hard time for me, but I had that moment to think back of what my mother said, and it made it a little easier for me to deal with because, like my mother said, you'll have her for a very long time. But we don't understand how time flies. We don't understand that we only get so much time with people, and that's why I don't understand why people make things so difficult for one another. I don't understand why we make things so hard for other people when other people's lives are already difficult enough. I mean, if you really don't like somebody because of their achievements or whatever, you might want to just not like them because of the things they went through. See how crazy that sounds? Like don't like them because they're successful, or don't dislike them for that. Why don't you just love what all they went through that made it hard for them to be where they are today? That's not enough pain for you though, right? You want them to be miserable and nasty. You want them to be dirt, dumb, down, and depressed and over with, right? God, can't we just get along? I don't understand why people want to see other people do so bad. And over the weekend, I tell you, I seen some of the most disrespectful stuff in my life at such a high level place. I was at Ohio State University over the weekend. And I know how hard my kids work in school. I know how hard all the kids. There was 20,000 people in the stadium. I know how hard everyone works to get where they are as far as graduating, all the late night studying, the late night snacks and the early morning classes and the sacrifices and the call homes and the mama, I'm not sure I'm gonna make this. Dad, I don't know if I'm gonna get a good enough grade. I don't understand how someone can go through all of that drama and trauma, and on graduation day, they kill themselves. Yeah, over the weekend, I mean, on a day that should have been unbelievably special for a lot of students, up at Ohio State, we're in the stadium and a kid jumps from the top rafters, if you want to call it that. And you just never know what people are going through. You don't know how many late nights he stayed up to get the grade to pass, to be able to graduate. And I know mental illness is a real thing. I know it's a real thing. I know that there's people that are bipolar, and probably somebody in this individual's head told them to jump. I don't know. And I don't want to clown about that. It's not nothing to clown about. But it makes me think about the things that we go through day to day and how difficult we try to make it on people. And you just don't know what people going through. Last story before I get to what I'm doing, and I'm gonna make it my grandmother's story again. I stop judging people when they're flying down the street, when they run through a red light, or when they dodging through traffic. I ain't got no beef with them. I don't know what's going on with them. Um, I don't know. I don't know nothing. So why should I have something to say? I might be able to say, "Look out, duck," or "Damn, that's a hard." That's bull. I've learned not to get in people's way when they're doing something that I see to be crazy. I mean, I remember when my grandmother was on her deathbed, I flew to her house 3 times before she actually died. And the third time is when it happened. But each time that I drove, my mother would call me because my mother was staying with my grandmother at that time. She was taking care of her in her home. And she would call me and say, "Rand, I think this is it. Granny's not doing too well. And I'm not getting a pulse," things of that nature. And I would be a bat out of hell leaving my home, driving over to her home, and I would skip lights. I would go through. If it was yellow, it was green. If it was just turning red, I already then went through it. You know what I'm saying? I was going, ditching and dodging through traffic. Somebody could have been thinking that I was crazy. I wasn't crazy. I just had some real shit going on in my life, and I wanted to be able to say something to my grandmother before she died. So I don't get in people's way. I'll never get into it with somebody on road rage. Because if they behind me, nosing me up or doing something to make me feel uncomfortable, I'll pull over and let them have their way, because you just don't know what people are going through. You really don't. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what's happening, and you don't know if it's a grandmother dying or a mom dying, or you just don't know if they just simply crazy. Let them have their way. Sitting back and arguing and road raging and all that makes no sense. I learned a lesson at 40 years old, because I was one of them guys that'll tell my wife, look at this dumbass flying through the traffic, dodging through the traffic. He's just waiting to get hit. And then I blow my horn, and you just never know what people are going through. That all being said, God bless the family of the young person that died. I know how the news reported it, but I know how we all walked out of that stadium feeling. And it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant. And I couldn't imagine, being the parents of someone who passes at their graduation. Is horrible. I wouldn't want to be that parent. I didn't even want to be the parent in the building, in the stadium. So that I just wanted to share that with you. Just family, if you could, be something special to somebody. Don't People's lives are tough enough. They don't need you to be a thorn in their ass. They don't need you to make their life even, to make it worse. Even the people that you think living the best and has the best things going on, and you think that you betrayed their life for yours and all that old shit, you better wreck it. You better think about that. You better think about that. Because I could tell you one thing: people floss on these internets. They floss on Facebook. They show you their cars. They show you everything they got. They show you their bags. They show you everything but an eviction notice. Them motherfuckers won't show you the bad news, but they certainly will show you everything they got to live for. But they ain't showing you what's driving them crazy. They ain't showing you their car payment at the end of, shit, I'm backed up 2, 3 car payment. Oh shit, they're not showing you that. They only showing you the winning tickets of the lottery. They don't show you all the losers. So be special for somebody instead of a thorn in somebody's ass, man. I just never understood. I never understood being something that would make people get out of get out of pocket. That's why when people talk about enemies and shit like that, I'd rather not be someone's enemy. I'd rather not be someone's enemy, because the word enemy is truly an enemy to me. If I'm your enemy, let me know, because I got to hit you before you hit me, because I'm not a very good recoverer. That was my problem in boxing. If I got hit and I don't recover real well. So I know I got to be first on the punch. So I don't have any enemies other than the one individual that I will remain nameless. But that's just because of some shit that men know better than to do. Other than that, man, peace and love and blessings to everybody. And I wish everybody well. I wish success for everybody, because, you might not, if you're successful, you may not bless me, but there's somebody around you that you're blessing, and that's just how I see it. Be there for somebody, and don't always look for people to be like you. Everybody's not going to bless people. No one's going to be just like you to everybody. So I stopped looking for that a long time ago. All right, that all being said, man, let me get into a few things. I've been waiting for some days. I've been waiting for some days to talk about this NFL draft. And I'm glad I waited a little bit. I always ran out of time, so I promised everybody that today would be a day that I would start out with it. Let me see if I can get my camera right. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I got off to a late start, and I really wasn't going to come on today, but here we are. I was going to talk about this NFL draft, and thanks, Lamont. Peace and propriety. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, my screen runs down real fast. John Lude says the suicide stats in our country are crazy. A big issue when we continue to sweep under the rug as a nation. We do. Social media has also been an amp. Social media has been a battery in the back of suicide. I just never understood. As a kid, as an adult, I understand, but as a kid, People are being bullied on social media. I don't understand. I guess it was how I was raised. Like, you're gonna have to physically threaten me. But I also know there's an emotional threat as well. So when you have people who manipulate other people, that the bullying comes from them convincing other people of who you are. So now they have the whole left side of the school, right side of the school, not liking you. And I could see how you can be bullied if somebody can manipulate a school. I can see that. So at first, I didn't really understand how you could be a bully on the internet because I come from the world of fighting. Like, the bullies was always the person that kind of shoved everybody around, made their own space. But now I understand there's a manipulative bully as well. Takes over the mind, takes over the space of everybody. We got a few of those in our community. That's why we can't get past go and collect $200 because they want you to stay on that go block. That's just my opinion. That all being said, man, watch your children on the internet. Watch your children on the internet because you never know who's talking to them. That bullying thing on the internet is huge. All right, so I'm sorry I jumped off on that. I was waiting for a few more people to get in the room anyway, and a few people are here. A few more people are here. I've been waiting to talk about this thing. Um, I've been waiting to talk about this NFL draft. I got some strong opinion on it. I really do. I have some strong opinion on it. Um, Few people may not like my take. That's okay. I'm the type of guy who's willing to have a conversation and be wrong. Not everybody's willing to be wrong when they have an opinionated conversation. They're not willing, they don't want to be wrong. They can't, they won't find themselves to be wrong, and that's fine. I'm an individual that can have a conversation with you, and I can be wrong at the end of the day, and I can accept it. I'm going to show you this picture here. And I don't want to make light of it. NFL draft 2024. All right. I've been hearing conversations about it. There's been clips about it. There's been things that's brought up about, why do brothers always have to get white girls, and what's going on here? Well, this isn't the whole draft, okay? If you think just because they're first round picks and they have white girls or whatever, I guess you could say that might be, I don't know, common denominator of some of the brothers in the first draft. But there were some brothers that had, there were some black guys that had, you know, a whole room full of black people, mom, grandma, aunties, sisters, little nephews and nieces, and we didn't concentrate on them. We only concentrated on the ones that had the white girls. And it's funny that happens because everybody has a different impression. I grew up hearing the impression of why black people, black men, always specifically athletes. I have this impression growing up. There was an impression that black men only get white girls because it makes us feel successful, or it makes us feel, and I'm not putting words in anybody's mouths. These are the things that I heard over the years. White women make black men feel complete, make us feel successful, make us feel like we are now part of America, make us feel like this and this and this and this and that. And I don't agree with any of that. So if you're ready to hang up on me now, rather than to listen to my opinion, feel free to do so. But see, you might always feel the way you feel if you don't listen to the opposition, if you don't listen to somebody else's opinion. And that's fine. Everybody has a reason, has a right to feel the way they feel, and they have a right not to want to be right, or they have a right not to have, multiple opinions, and I mean, you have every right in America to feel and be who you want to be. You can be a racist in America if you want to. You can be a bigot. You can be whatever you want to be in America. That's the beauty of this country. But I have a difference of opinion being a guy that played sports, went off to college and played ball. I just have a different opinion of how this shit works out. And I brought not just my opinion, I brought some clips of other people's opinion on both sides. And I like to have this conversation Because it's funny, when I was growing up, I always heard, especially growing up around a lot of black women, because my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, my cousins, all women. And I would always hear, maybe not from them, but being in female conversations, I would hear through in the air. I would just hear that black guys always want to get white girls. They lead the hood, they lead the hood and end up with a white girl, blah, blah, blah. And they get the wealth. They get this, they get that. The white girl, the great girl, the white girl. That's all I ever hear. And what I'm looking at here in 2024, 20 years later, what I'm looking at now is I don't hear those same people talking about the black women who are now dating white men. I don't hear that same noise. I don't hear the same thing. I don't hear that black women only date white men because they want to feel successful. They want to feel like an American. They want to feel complete. They want to feel all the shit, the derogatory shit you said about brothers all these years. Now, for the record, for those that don't know me who stuck around this few minutes, if you don't know me, then you might want, I'm going to give you an intake of my family makeup. I'm a black man. My wife is a black woman. And my two children are both little black wonderful girls. Well, they're grown women now. They're 19 and 23, both black. And I I I wouldn't have a problem marrying or dating a white girl if that's what it came out to be. But I caught my wife at an early age. We were both 19 and 20 years old. We've been together for many, many years. And she didn't see, I didn't have a dime. She didn't have a dime. We started on crack together. I was never a target. I was never the guy who had a bunch of money and all this old shit. So she seen me as a come up. She fell in love with my aspirations, my dreams. She fell in love with my dreams with me. I fell in love with her dreams with her. And I think that's where it worked. So I think there is I think there's a level of, I don't know. I think we just kind of grew together and we borrowed each other's energy on where we needed to go. And I think ladies have the wrong perception of what men really want. Now, this is my opinion. Y'all always think we want a woman because it make us look good or whatever. And I don't know if that is always the case. I think men are territorial. We want what we want for our own personal selfish reasons. We don't like sharing. When it comes to our women, we don't like sharing. We don't want any of that. Now, I'm not saying there's not a man or a woman out there that want to be with a woman that everybody looks at. But that's not your everyday man, unfortunately. This is my opinion. Fellas, help me out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think that men get with a woman because he wants to show her off. Like it happens, but I'm saying like we so territorial. We want that woman for our own personal reasons. Yes, she looks good. Yes, okay. But we want her for our own personal reasons. To say that a man goes off to college, a young man goes off to college and he seeks a white girl, I can't agree with that. I think what happens is he runs into a candy store. I think when we started Wyatt Live, I had that same conversation. I said, why do one thing when you have so much choice? When it's available to you. I mean, what's the chances of somebody marrying a white girl and you live in the hood? Well, if you live in Law Homes, there was only one white, there was only a couple white families in Law Homes. So what was the chance of somebody marrying a white girl in Law Homes? If you lived in Lincoln Courts, what was your chance of growing up or marrying someone in Lincoln Court from, a white girl from Lincoln Court? It just was very narrow. But when you go off to school and you go off to a 30,000 or a 40 or a 50, 60,000 person campus, you're in a candy store. You're in a candy store. You get to choose whatever you want from Asian, white, black, whatever. I think what we need to understand is where's the difference? Why would a man choose someone outside of what he's accustomed to? Let me ask you, ladies, do you still buy the same type of clothes that you bought when you were a kid, when we were younger? When we were younger and had our summer jobs, we wore a certain type of shit. Shit, I wore sweatsuits all the time. I wouldn't wear a sweatsuit if it was free. I don't wear sweatsuits anymore, but that's what I spent my money on. That's how I want it. I changed up. Jerica said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with only dating black women, man. I agree. I'm not suggesting that it's something wrong with it. I'm just trying to get y'all to understand like why men may do it, why men may date outside their race. And I think to have this perception of the reason why they do it is because they think little or less than of black women. I don't think that's the truth all the time. I don't think that a man dates a woman who's Asian because he don't like white women or black women. I don't think that's the case. I think it becomes a preference to him because it's available to him. Maybe he likes the attitude. Maybe he likes their culture. Maybe he likes something. Maybe he likes the build. Maybe he likes there has to be some attraction there in the first place. I don't really think it's just because he looks down on everybody else. That's just my personal opinion. Now, of course, there's a lot of different opinions on this. I'm going to play a video of, let me see, the draft and what Dr. Umar and all these other guys were talking about. Okay, talking about the draft and making fun of these guys that's in the first, I guess what are they? First draft pick, first lot, they're in the first round of the draft. Let me see if I have this this video on file here. Let me just see. Hold on one second. Because Dr. Umar calls white women snow bunnies, and I'm sure other people call them that as well. But I'm going to let you play. I'm going to play here. Hold on one second. I'm going to play this. Give me 1 second. One second. Because he's funny. Dr. Umar, that guy's, he's funny. Here it is. All right. I want to know if you agree what he says here. I'm going to try to read some of the comments while the clip is running so I can catch up. Jerica, you know what? I got a problem with that. Is it Jerica or Jerica? I'm sorry. My apologies. If you could break it down, because I hate torturing people's names, chopping it up. Jerica said, that's your opinion, but there have been black men who say they don't want black women and seek out women of other races. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're talking about millions of people here. So I can't be talking about just everyone. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm sure there's some guys who have had some bad, there's some girls, there's women that have done the same thing. There's women that have said, I'll never date another black man in my life. There's some sisters that say that. They don't think black men are good enough for them. They say that too. So we got to give them that same energy. We have to the same energy that they give us. However, that there's always going to be Jerica. It's just a J in front of Erica. Okay, Jerica. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. I don't like getting people's names wrong, Jerica, so I appreciate that, sis. I'm going to let you hear this clip that Dr. Umar was talking about. And, Dr. Umar talk all that race shit and all that old stuff and black queen shit and all that old shit, but he got baby mamas. So what I don't understand is, let me let him speak for himself. Check it out.
One of the biggest advantages the snow bunnies have on our women is snow bunnies will find a dusty brother and see his skill, his talent, you feel me?
Yeah.
Invest in him in college. And by the time he become a multimillionaire at 35, she been with him the whole walk. You see that? A lot of sisters are not going to do that. They're not going to find a dusty brother in his senior year or dusty brother in the community. But you see, he got this business idea. She like, nah, come back and see me when it's up and running. I don't think this ever going to happen. So Snow Bunny invested in him. You feel me? 10 years later, the same brother see you. You trying to holler. He got the white girl. And it came to you. You said you want a ready-made black man. You don't want a work in progress. And I'm telling black women, y'all better start going for some of these works in progress instead of waiting for us to finish the job because you losing to the Snow Bunny when you tell us to wait until we got the bag.
Black women, don't get mad at me for saying this. When they're placed in some of these environments, the fucking agenda is just it sticks out like a sore thumb. So because you may be so money hungry and things of that nature, the player might not even have time to really get to know you, see what your personality
But a lot
is
of
like.
white women are just as money hungry.
But
They
I think they have strategy. I definitely feel like, unfortunately, white women move with strategy. Black women have an agenda that's just very, like, apparent.
Normally, I don't advocate for brothers to go after snow bunnies, but I am for men finding better options for themselves. Passport Bros.
What the fuck is wrong with
I don't agree what Dr. Umar Johnson said in that clip right there. Ed said he's telling the truth. I don't think so. I think sometimes our sisters, I think a lot of the times black women tend to support some men, some brothers that probably don't deserve as much support as they're given. I think we can game up women, and women, look, I just honestly think that women will dream with a man. I think if a woman meets you and your dreams are to be, I don't know, the best gospel singer in the world, you're going to have a queen right there that's going to try to promote you and try to make you the best gospel singer, the best R&B singer, whatever you're trying to be. You want to own a construction company or whatever, but you're out there sweeping the street right now for a construction company. You holding the stop sign. You new to the construction business. I think sisters will actually bend over backwards to give you all of them. So I don't agree. I don't agree with him saying that sisters don't start at the starting gate. My wife did. I don't think that. I think I understand where he's coming from, because he's generalizing it. He's narrowing it down to only professional sports and things of that nature. I have a lot of clips here that everybody's on that same page of making it sound like that these white girls are only jumping at these brothers at a certain time. And I don't think what's happening is they're seeing a senior D1 football player, and now all of a sudden they're the boyfriend, or excuse me, that's the girlfriend. I think there is a level of investment. I think these guys do go off to school and they do see this candy store. They see different things. And I think that they do experiment and they do take a chance and they do things that they're not accustomed to doing. I do believe that happens. And what comes along with that is an investment from someone else. In other words, this white girl who's been with this guy since he was a freshman, before he was the star on the team. I think I think she has a better opportunity of the long play. I just think that she has an opportunity of the long play. Rappers do it. Let me ask y'all a question about these rappers that got 3 or 4 baby mamas and before they have a hit record. How many of them go back to the hood and pick up baby mama number 1 or 2 or 3? They always end up with another celebrity, or they always looking for some girl with a passport and all this old other shit. They do the same thing. I think that's worse, because you've already then planted seeds. A lot of these brothers are straight out of high school. They get 4 or 5 years in college, and then they get off on this draft thing, and they about to start a life with a girl that they've been with for 3 or 4 years. What about a rapper that then had a baby with 2 or 3 girls? Why hasn't he married any of them? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that sounds bad to say, but y'all know that's some true shit. I just don't want to be down on athletes, because the same thing y'all say about black men, I can say that about a lot of black women. And I'm not trying to be down on them. I just need that same energy for the black women that go off and marry white men or Asian men or whatever, and they're successful. The woman is successful. We can name a few, can't we? Can't we, fellas? We can name a few. It's just funny how things change, though. It seemed like for all these years, y'all been down on brothers because they end up with a white girl, the OJs and all that old shit. Y'all down on OJ because he was married to a black woman first. Then he ended up getting a divorce or whatever. Then he ended up with a white lady. And then, I mean, it's like y'all get down on us because these guys go in and find somebody different, and then you blame him as he's some type of sellout or something. And I don't understand that. I don't get it, because you don't do the same thing when black women do that. I don't hear anybody calling Vice President Kamala Harris a sellout. I don't hear it. That's her husband. I don't hear it. I don't hear anybody calling. And then y'all gave, what's his name? Supreme Court Justice Thomas. Y'all been shitting on him for years because he was married to a white lady. Well, when this Supreme Court Justice got nominated in, that's her husband. I don't hear y'all saying anything about that. You know, Whoopi Goldberg talk about white people and all this old stuff. She talk about that shit so much. I don't understand. But Whoopi Goldberg ain't had a black man in I don't know how long. And y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but these are facts. Her children are all mixed. Y'all don't talk about generational wealth when it come down to somebody that's on TV every day, all day, talking about white people, black people stuff. I just don't hear the same thing. And when these are the guys she divorced from. And she didn't learn her lesson. She's always dated white men. And then when it come to her, y'all always say, well, let people love who they love. But I never hear anything about generational wealth when it come down to the sisters who are successful, who end up dating outside the race. I just don't hear them same arguments. It slows down a little bit. But then we have these different arguments of why brothers go get white girls or Asians or whatever nationality they end up with that's outside of a black girl. I know this is not going to be favorable to anybody. Especially, if you're accustomed to hearing certain things a certain way. And to be honest with you, I really don't think this is a letdown. I'm not trying to talk bad about sisters. I hope you don't think that. My wife would kill me if I was saying something that was derogatory. I haven't said anything that should make anybody feel like, here's the reason why they don't like black women. I haven't said anything derogatory. What I'm saying is, here these young men go off to these new places, new faces, and they see things that they're just not part of their neighborhoods. It's not part of their culture. They see new things. They have more fans. They have more opportunity to do bigger and better things in life. I mean, they're getting educations. They're doing bigger things. They're not just playing pickup basketball in the hood. They're not doing that. And for some odd reason, people want you to believe that they think that they're more successful than you. And what puts them over the top more than anything is now they got them a white woman. I don't believe that's what it is, because I'm going to tell you something. I've been around it. I had an opportunity to date different races of people. And I don't care what man you talk to when they say, well, the white girl don't look good. You lying. You lying. All women look good. There ain't a woman on this planet the woman species. Every group of people have some woman that looks good. They're beautiful. They have a beautiful woman. You might not prefer to date that woman, but don't sit back here and say all Russians, man, they ugly as hell. Don't sit back and say all Russians are ugly. Don't sit back and say all Ukrainians are ugly. And they got some rough ones. They got some rough ones. I'm not going to lie to you. But we all got rough ones. We all have rough ones. You got rough Asians. You got some nice Asians. I know. I've been around it. I graduated with a class of, I don't know, I couldn't tell you how many different nationalities were in my graduation class. And that's where, I had Samoans. Everybody was in my graduating class. And, it took me to get out and get away to be able to see some things. Now, let me ask y'all a question. It's a little bit off the subject a little bit, but it's still there, but it's a little bit off. Over the weekend, did you all see that Cat Williams came out with a live stand-up on Netflix? Did anybody see it? I seen it. I don't want to, what do they call it? Spoil it for you. But did anybody see, by the show of hands? Hit the like button if you've seen it. Did anybody see it? Came on at 10 o'clock, I believe, on Saturday night because it interrupted my boxing and all that. But I wanted to see this Cat Williams. It was him live. It's like what we do right now. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't understand, but this is the toughest shit to do in television or podcast or radio, is to do it live, because anything and everything that I say is right here and right there. I can't pull it back. If I dig in my nose, damn it, they can't edit it out. If I cough, if I say something stupid, I can't pull it back. So Cat Williams went live on Saturday night. And some people probably don't think it was funny. But hey, I see some of my sisters. Tracy Dillingham, she says she started it. Dominique says, I seen it on there, but haven't watched it. I didn't ask y'all all that. I ain't asked nobody who half-ass watched. See how y'all do? Y'all want me to go crazy. See, I ain't nobody. I said who watched it. All right, let me be more specific. How many people watched the Cat Williams on Saturday night live at 10 o'clock from the start to the finish? How many seen the beginning to the end? Damn. Drive me crazy. Anyway, y'all know how to throw me off, don't you? Anyway, listen. For those that seen it, Tommy said, why me? All right, for those that did, thank you. But for those that did, I hope you are long listeners of the Wyatt Live Show. Here's why. This is going to be a tough one to say. I'm about to have one of these moments. Did Cat Williams not sound like Wyatt Live? Y'all can't tell me that Cat don't watch the show. You can't tell me. Can't tell me that he don't watch the show, because when he was doing his stand-up live, when he got into the politics, when he got into people going out and being great, when did he not say everything that I say on this show? Now, I want all those that call him, y'all got to call him a coon. Y'all got to call him conspiracy coon. Y'all got to call him all the things that you ever called me. You got to do it. You got to do it. Because the man said everything that I said. He said the people that say the most things about, he said this is the greatest country in the world. And if you don't think so, go somewhere else. He said most of the people who say that it ain't shit are some people that ain't never been nowhere. Take your ass on somewhere and watch how fast you come back. Who else said that? Y'all called me what for saying that? What else did he say? Oh, you can do anything in the world, anything in America that you want to do. You can be the best anything in the world. You can be anything you want to be in America. Who else said that? Ain't nobody holding you back. And if you're being held back, what did he say? Y'all, look, I don't want to spoil it because enough people didn't say they seen it. But when you watch it, and if you've never seen it, thank you, Cleopatra, it was called Woke Folk. Now, you can imagine what he was talking about, woke folk. You can imagine. It's the same shit you hear over here, but he's funnier than I am because I'm not a jokester. He's a clown. He's a joke. He's a jokester. But the shit he was saying was spot on. He touched what was that? I don't want to give it away too much, but he talked about reparations. He hit it the same way I hit it. We said it the same way, except he added some jokes. We said the same thing about reparations. What else did he say? Oh, I was stuck on how he was talking about being great, being whatever you want to be, telling the truth in 2024. Stop being, so much behind the people that's been saying the same shit for over and over and over again. So if you haven't seen it, go out and see it. I'm promoting it. Well, you don't go out and see it. I think it's on Netflix. I think it's on television. It was live. So when I ran back to get some of the clips, I was going to play some of the clips, but I don't want to give it away. It's a little too soon. If I play the clips now, you may not want to. I might just play the good stuff or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. So I'll wait a few days, see if I can gather some of the clips and let everybody take a look. Or we'll talk about those things. But yeah, it was amazing to me because everything that these comics say, especially Cat Williams, it's not always funny. The truth is not funny. The truth is to be told, but it ain't always to be laughed at. So, I mean, if you've seen it, you kind of seen a little bit of the Wyatt Live show because of what he says and what he talk about. And I mean, it's kind of hard for those guys to do those shows. I see Alethea says same jokes as he did here in Cincinnati. Maybe so. I didn't see him in Cincinnati. I was out of town when he came to Cincinnati, so I don't know what he said in the Natty. So if you were on the if you seen the show in the Natty and then watched it on YouTube, or excuse me, on Netflix, maybe it's the same shit. I would have felt the same way if I would have heard it live in Cincinnati. But y'all need to cover that. Y'all need to go in and look at it and see what it sounded like. I got another clip. Let's get back on topic. I wanted to talk about that real fast because Cat Williams, he dropped another one on him. Some people won't like it, but that's okay. Those are the same folks that probably didn't like the fact that he went in on Steve Harvey and those guys too. I'm going to show you this one right here, this opinion of a black woman. This is a young girl who's a student at a university, and she has a different opinion of why these brothers are dating white girls. As soon as I find this sucker, she has a different opinion of why black women are dating, why these black guys are dating white women. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to do it all at one time. I'm doing it all on my own. Give me 1 second. It's coming. Here it is. Cleopatra, what you say, babe? She said, he basically said we would give the reparations back to the white man. Well, I said that as well. And some people just think that that's evil and mean to say. I say that when it comes to reparations, you have to have a plan. You can't just cut everybody a check. You have to have a plan. I mean, you can't, I mean, it's almost a pointless conversation to have if there's no structure behind the plan. You can't just say everybody gonna get this, everybody gonna get that, and then that just be it. Yes, Jerica, thank you for reminding me about that. She said, did you see the clip of Umar going in on Nick Cannon? I have that clip. I'm going to play that clip before we leave today. I promise you. I want to let y'all hear this one real fast before we move on. We're going to still talk about this, but I want to give you this perspective of a young black woman, young black girl who's on campus, who might have a different perspective than most, especially when it comes down to a black woman. You see what I'm saying? Because y'all have y'all way of thinking, and y'all might not agree with what I just said, but listen to what this little sister just said. Check it out.
Let me tell y'all why these mainstream athletes are always dating or marrying these white women. A lot of the times, these mainstream athletes don't always be at HBCUs, okay? It be at colleges such as Kentucky, Notre Dame, Alabama, which are all predominantly white, okay? So when they at these colleges, and you have so many white people, and then you have this amount of black people that have all came up from the same roots, the same struggle, all that type of stuff, as you are not there here. So when you have these white women that meet these black men in college, they're nurturing, they do their homework, they make sure you eat, they be having cars, they do all of that or whatnot. And these men, they build these relationships with these women, okay? And it goes from there. So when they get drafted, all that type of stuff in the NFL, NBA, MLB, whatever, okay? They take them women with them because they actually fell in love with them. So a lot of the times you cannot fault them for them being there for them at their lowest points of time, instead of actually us being, as African American women, being there for the guys as well, because we came from the same position. So stop being on social media being racist, because
I mean, I think I understand where she's coming from. It's kind of like what I just said about how these guys get to a campus and somebody else steps in and does some things or that they're just not accustomed to. Jericho, I don't know if that's BS. I don't know if it's BS because, I've been on campus before and I know what the talk was. You feel me? Like, Yeah, I know all black women gonna say BS because y'all don't think like a man, and y'all gonna say, and I don't mean that disrespectful, sisters. I really don't. I'm saying that a lot of these guys, keep in mind, a lot of these guys, I know. Look. Let me. Can I say something to it? Let me say something to you. A lot of these guys been raised by single mothers. Y'all don't want to hear that shit now, do you? If these guys are being raised by a single mother and they go off to school and they're being natured and all that and cars and somebody doing their homework and somebody taking care of them and Chick-fil-A and doing all this old other stuff for them, that's what attracts them. You see what I'm saying? That's what they like. Now, I got other clips. If you put all these clips together, you might have a different frame of thinking of this. You think what you think because of maybe what you've been through. But a lot of these guys, when they get to the universities, it's a candy store. They don't have to just date the cutest girl in the 9th grade at high school. They have variety of, in high school, we had what, 300, 400 in a class? In college, you got 15, 20,000 that you can choose from. Well, maybe not that many women, but I'm just saying there's a smorgasbord of opportunity. That's what they see. And then when they see something that they like and that person treats them a certain way, they tend to stay there. And we don't understand. We think that it's a thing in the mental. We think the reason why that black man is with that white girl is because he's looking down on sisters. And I just beg to differ on that. My opinion is different than a lot of black women. And I just think that they're not afraid to get something that they want in life. Now, a lot of black women, here's another one of my not popular opinions, but a lot of black women say that they'll never date outside the race, and it's always for a reason why a black man wouldn't. Like y'all say, y'all trying to preserve the black culture. You're trying to keep the black family together and all that. But my thing is, how many black men are you dealing with that feel the same way that you feel? How many brothers do you know that you date want to marry you? I know that's tough. I mean, and that don't mean there's something wrong with you. That I don't know. That's kind of like why I asked that question last week that kind of got no traction. And it sounded like I was coming from left field. It sounded crazy when I said, how many sisters grow up wanting to get married? And then how many wedding proposals have you ever had? How does that feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just think that women have it figured wrong of why men get what they get. I just think that y'all think that the reason why a black man is with a white woman or an Asian woman or whatever, um, I just think that y'all think about it wrong. I just think that y'all think that this brother want to be with a white girl because he thinks that white people are better. And I don't think that that's what it is. I just don't. That's my opinion. And I'm happily married to a black woman. Been for 30 years. That's okay. I don't expect listen, let me say this to you. Let me say this. I respect everybody's opinion of what I'm saying. And when you say that I'm wrong today, that's fine. But here's what I don't expect. I don't expect black women to agree with me. And the reason why I don't expect you to agree with me is because you're not a black man. And I think it's a disservice when you say that black men who end up dating outside the race think that they better than people, or they think that black women are less than. I don't think that's what it is. I think that that's just an easy way for y'all to say something's wrong with that individual versus looking at the bigger picture. And that is, some people just don't want to stay in a box. But here's the thing. I've never heard y'all say anything about Kamala Harris or any of these black successful women who date outside their race. and they marry white men. I just don't hear that same thing. I don't hear any OJ talk about Kamala. I don't hear that. You know what I hear now? I hear let people love who they love, let them marry who they marry, and all that old shit. That's what I hear. And I've been hearing all this OJ talk about how black men want to marry white women and all that. I've been hearing that shit since I was a little boy, and it's always been derogatory. But when I look at black women who are successful, they're doctors, they're lawyers, I just don't hear the same energy when they marry outside their race. I don't hear it. I heard something, I think it might have been on the radio. And somebody said something, I think it was a caller or somebody said, and it might have been, I've been watching some shows over the weekend because I've been waiting for this conversation. But I heard somebody say, I don't never see no white men lining up to get sisters, no billionaire white men to get sisters. Maybe not. It might not be a regular thing. But I do know one. I mean, this person said there ain't no white billionaires that's dating or marrying. And the problem, I think it was Umar Johnson who said it. And what he said kind of formed a whole different thing for me. Because what he said sounds, and sisters, y'all got to break this one down for me. Check this one out for me. Dr. Umar Johnson said, and I'm going to play the clip. He said, you don't see billionaire white men getting sisters and making them they baby mamas. And see, I got a problem with how he even says that. You see what I'm saying? I have a problem with how he says, I got a problem with that. Because number one, I quite honestly believe, and this is just my opinion, that if I have a baby with a woman, I just married her. And I married my child. We're together. That's just how I feel. It's not an everyday thing. Everybody don't feel that way. I'm not trying to be Mr. Goodbar. It's just how I felt because of what I went through as a child. What I went through as a kid and not knowing my father very well. I knew who he was, but I felt like, why would somebody do their kid like that? That's how I felt as a child and coming up into a man, is I would never have a kid that don't know me. A kid that don't know me. Matter of fact, if you don't mind, I'm glad I said that because this is one right here. As y'all can tell, this is a very uncomfortable conversation for me. And it's mainly because of the things that I've been through in life. I've seen a few things that some people who disagree with me haven't seen. And then there's some things that you have been through that I haven't been through. So I understand where our differences may lie. However, let me see if I can play this one for you. I want you to see this. Yeah, thank you, Sabrina Calloway. What's up, sis? She says, rapper Eve is married to a white British billionaire. Yeah. I can give you another one. Matter of fact, let me show you who it is. Does anybody know who this individual is? Let me see if I can find him. Yeah. Here we go. Anybody know who that is? Anybody know who that couple is? Boy, she look like she from down the way too, don't she? I'm sorry. Don't get mad. I'm just being honest. Don't get mad. I'm just being honest. She look like she from down the way. Here, I'll show you a better picture though. There we go. Anybody know who that is? Thank you, Stephen Speed. That's George Lucas, maker of Star Wars. No, that's not Spielberg. That's George Lucas. I almost called him Frank Lucas. I almost called him Frank Lucas. That is George. That is George Lucas. And that is the maker of Star Wars. And that's his wife. Now, his wife is partial owner, minority owner of the Denver Broncos. Remember when the Denver Broncos went up for sale? Well, and she's very successful herself. I mean, she's self-made herself. This is them once again. All right. That's a sister that with a billionaire. I don't think she's any less of a black woman than any black woman that's watching this show right now. I don't think Kadandra, Miss Brown, Mrs. Brown, who is a Supreme Court justice, I don't think she's any less, I don't think she's any better or any less than any black woman that's watching this show right now. Kamala Harris, VP Harris, I don't think she's any better or any less than any black woman that's watching this show right now. See, I have the same regard for them as I do if a black man is with a white woman. I mean, it's what they do, it's what they prefer. Even Whoopi. Okay, Whoopi's history has been all with white guys. It's pretty obvious that Whoopi prefers white men. She's only been with white men. See, that's a little different pattern for me. I don't say that it's a problem. I won't say it's a problem, but I do see I see Whoopi going in a consistent pattern, which shows me her preference. No, I didn't see your question. What was it? Which one, Dominique? Y'all talk amongst each other so much. Sometimes I just pass things by. I did not see your question. Hold on. Let me see if I can go back and get her question. I know it's going to be whack as hell, but I'll go ahead and try to find it. Oh, okay. Dominique says, Wyatt, are you uncomfortable because you can't go in on the black woman? No, not at all. No, not at all, sis. No, not at all. I think that the reason why I have a problem with black women in this particular situation is because y'all act like y'all don't date white men, or I don't see the same energy from black women when black women end up with white men. And then when I hear these things of white men don't date white women, don't date white black women, and you don't see no billionaires dating, I just have to say, well, yeah, they do. They do. I'm not suggesting, look, I think opinions are what they are. They're not facts. I can't say that what I'm saying is a fact. I can give you my opinion of what I know to be a fact. And what I know to be a fact is there are millionaire white men that date black women. How many friends do you have that date millionaires? First, you got to get in them circles before you say it don't exist. All right. But how many of your friends date white men? Let's just say a working class person. You're a working class. He's a working class. I know I got a few little girlfriends that not girlfriend, but girlfriends that I grew up with that date guys that are white. No problem with it whatsoever. But if you're not in those circles of people and you're not having these conversations with these people, then your opinion is based in a glass jar. It's boxed in and you can see out, but you're not experiencing it because you're not talking to these folks. And I don't know if your opinion is based on what you see or your appearance is based on your experience. I think that the opinion holds more to me when it's based on experience versus just what you see. That's just my opinion. AP, what's good, bro? He says Tina Turner left here with a rich white man. Went over to British. She wasn't from Nutbush, Tennessee no more. She went over there with a British accent. My darling. I just don't see the same energy. That's all I'm saying to you guys. I remember when it was all about black men who got successful and went off and played ball or this and this and that, and they only wanted white women, and y'all said one thing about you say one thing about them, but I don't hear you saying the same thing about us. About yourself. I just don't hear it. And I think the reason why you don't hear a lot of black men say anything about black men dating white women is because they truly understand. They get it. And they might say something that is I don't know. They may say something that makes where they don't want you to get mad. They might say something that's subjective. They don't want you to get mad, but they understand. And there's a lot of people that would make different decisions if they didn't have the pressure or if they didn't have to go through the shame of doing what they're doing. And I think a lot of black women would do it. I think a lot of black women, if they had And I'm not saying not if they had the opportunity, because every black woman on here has an opportunity to date outside the race if they want to. It's not like white men look at you and say, "Ah, no, I can't. No, it ain't a go." Most white men are scared to talk to black women. Every white man I've ever talked to who thought white women were or black women were fine, a lot of them are afraid to say something to black women. I don't know if they're I don't know why. I think they're scared of the rejection. I think they're afraid of the rejection. Let me go to the phone line real fast. Maybe somebody will help me out. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this Twin, man.
Hey, twin. How you doing, brother? Sorry I had you on hold so long, bro.
Hey, Wyatt, can I call you back right quick?
Absolutely.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. Bye-bye. Twin was on hold for a minute. I just missed a call. You can call back in. I only have one phone line, so feel free to call back in and give me your opinion. Give me your opinion. I got another video. Which one should I do real fast? I just missed a call. Caller, if you want to call back in, please do so. Y'all ain't gonna like this one. But I don't think you here to hear all the things that you only like. All right. But I'm going to take this phone call and then I'm gonna cue up the video and let you hear it. Let me take this call from a caller real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey Wyatt, this is Kathy Goodwin
Hey,
Williams. How are
hey,
you?
Kathy Williams. How you doing? Is it Kathy
Um,
Williams?
it's Goodwin Williams.
Goodwin Williams. Are you a
Yeah,
Goodwin
I am.
from
Those
the
my people.
from the Fae?
Those are those the people, the ones that are from the Fae and down the way and Walnut Hills. Those my grandfather and their grandfather, Reverend Goodwin, are brothers. Were brothers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
my
yeah,
grandfather moved his family out to Lincoln Heights. But yeah, anybody that's a Goodwin in Cincinnati or Greater Hamilton County, those are my people.
so was your father brothers with bro? Was that
No, my mother is a Goodwin.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Mhm.
What's on your mind, sis? What's happening? Thanks
Okay,
for calling.
so I'm calling in on this topic I have a couple different views on this. The
Okay,
first one, let me just say, I feel like people should be able to love who they love.
okay,
But also, growing up, ever since I was old enough to date, pretty much dated, athletes. That's
okay,
who liked me. I dated who liked me.
okay,
Um, and in that and being in and around that from junior high school up until most recent,
okay,
um I just found that you're gonna have some athletes who black African American and black athletes who genuinely just want to be with black women,
mm-hmm,
and the ones who dated me, they prefer a black woman.
okay,
But from what I know, and being around that, I saw a few things. So if you go back to like high school and athletes who, um, even in high school, kind of preferred um, women outside of the African American race, more specifically white women, we'll just say that
okay,
for the sake of the conversation. And the reasons I found were for some that you named, because back then you had a lot of young white girls who may have been in a better position financially
okay,
than some of the black girls, and athletes like those perks.
okay,
Those girls would do things for them financially that we may not have been able to do or may not have been willing to do. So it kind of starts, in my opinion, at that age for those guys who are interested, who find themselves being drawn to white women at a younger age. I think that that's some of it for some of them and how it starts.
okay,
And I say that because, without giving a whole lot of information, I have a child that I brought into my home. He's a young adult,
okay,
and he's my ex's child. His dad passed away, and I brought him to live with me.
okay.
So he is now 19, but when he came to live with me, he had just turned 18.
Can I ask what
And
color he is?
he's black.
Okay, okay, okay,
And so but I've had a relationship with him since he was 12.
Okay.
And he kind of initially, he started out when he was old enough to date, trying to date Black girls, but they didn't really care for him because, they didn't find him attractive, or because he was too much of a gentleman. He wasn't, he didn't have all the swagger that they felt like he needed to have.
Already, I know where you're going. I know where you're going with it.
Okay, but he's an athlete.
Okay.
So, sometimes it takes kids a little bit to grow into, their handsomeness and stuff. He's a
Right.
very handsome young man.
But them young girls don't look at it that way. We as little young men don't look at it that way. We are who we are at that moment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But yeah,
Absolutely.
I get
And
it.
so, with that being said, that was who gravitated toward him. And so he started to, I noticed, have a preference for white girls because they were good to him, they were kind to him, or what have you. So, but I needed to undo that. Now, if that's who he decided he wanted to date, I just wanted him to not grow into having a preference for someone outside of his race because we weren't kind to him. That makes sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Can I interrupt for 1 second? Inject. Let me just engage in it for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
See, that right there, the way you're explaining this, Kathy, is exactly what I'm talking about. Of he doesn't prefer white girls because they're white. He prefers a certain way of how he is as an individual, and it's
But
go ahead.
it's that, but let me add the other part.
Okay.
Another part to it. So since he came to live with me, there's a certain type of discipline that I have in my household that some men, and probably why I'm still single, I can see where eventually they may not want to deal with us because one, I'm a little bit aggressive when it comes to raising you and you following the rules. And I know sometimes people don't like having follow rules. And he might feel like I'm a little bit stern and we have some.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Kathy. You confusing me a little bit when you say, okay, you went to the I'm single, and and then you said I could see why
Because
they may not want to be with.
he's at the age now to where he is mistaking me wanting him to do better and me staying on him about that as me being too aggressive.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's why I don't date Black girls.
So you're saying
So
he don't date black girls because of your behavior?
yes,
Wow.
that is a conversation that he and I have had because you don't want to be told
It's not you, Kathy. Okay.
what
Kathy.
right, what to do.
Kathy,
So
it's not you. It's not. Don't let that happen. Don't let him talk. Don't. That's not. It's not you. It might play a part because you happen to be, a black woman, but it's not just you. It's the fact.
I
What?
know I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, go ahead. Get there.
Okay, so I know it's not just I'm not taking it's not me personal.
Okay.
It is, but it could be the reason that they don't. I find that, and somebody might see this differently, but I find in my experience and being around Black men, Black athletes in relationships with white women, because of course I've congregated with them because for a while I was swimming in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
They're more passive. They're not gonna question. They're gonna do, if he say no, you ain't doing this, or no, I don't want to do that, or there's little accountability, or there has been. Am I making sense to you?
Well, kinda. I'm a little confused in a sense. I know where you were going. You were saying that the reason why he prefers white women is because of your the way you're raising him in the home. And I'm trying to say that I don't think that's what it is. I could see where you might think that because you're being strict and you're representing black women and he don't want somebody that's going to be that strict. The truth of the matter is a lot of people won't say it the way I'm about to say it is you said aggressive. And that's one of the things that a lot of black men say about black women. And that is they're too aggressive. They don't know when to be quiet and all that. A lot of people don't hate me for that, but that's not my word. I'm about to play a clip that's going to prove exactly what I'm saying. This is what people say. So what you're saying, you're describing how you run your household. And Kathy, this is why I say, and don't get mad at me, sister, because you seem to have it all together. But this is why I say it's tough for a sister to raise a black man. All right, because it is very difficult for you to be the disciplinarian and do the things what black men need to hear to be a man. All right, and this is showing you how you have to be the love, you have to be the disciplinary, you have to be everything, and now you feel a certain way about what he's deciding to choose out there because maybe you're being too aggressive with him as a mother, when in fact,
Yeah.
okay, but let me tell you something. If I was his father, if you and I were together and I was his dad and I disciplined him the way you are disciplining him, do you still think that he would be with a white woman because he's being disciplined the way he is being disciplined and I'm the disciplinarian? Would you
I
feel
do
that same?
not.
You
I
wouldn't
do
feel that
not.
way, right?
No,
So I
I
don't
do not.
I don't know if it might play a part in what you're doing. I'm being honest, it might, but you already told me what the real reason was when I heard you talk about it at the beginning, and that was he's not fitting into a certain culture.
Okay, but let me give you, no, I'm telling you it's all of that because he and I had the conversation and this was something he said to me.
Okay.
So it's not me, thinking. This is a conversation that he and I had to have. Okay, so that's the
Wait a minute.
second
Can I
piece.
ask you this, Kathy, about that conversation?
Hmm.
What briefly, what did you get out of the conversation? Did he tell you you were being too aggressive and that's what makes him feel like he don't want to be with a black woman? Did he say that?
Well, he didn't necessarily want to hear what I had to say. And when I wouldn't stop talking about it, because I'm the adult
Mhm.
and you're gonna do what I say, but that transcends for him and maybe other young black men who may be hearing it from older black men. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's all that male what they calling it now?
Male
I can't think of what they call them. There's a new term for it now. Like you too much male energy or whatever.
drilling you talking about or
I can't think what they calling it, but anyway, so it was that type of conversation. So that's one piece of it, and I can't say on the radio, what came after that,
toxic
but
masculine
it is
toxic
all of
masculinity?
that I believe makes them say, I don't want to deal with a black woman who is gonna be like my mother was, or who talked to me, or even though I'm trying to tell you the right thing. And so I'll say one more thing, Wyatt, and then
Mhm.
I'll let you go.
Okay.
So, this is a way that I connect this to an adult relationship or situation that I recently had. And he
Okay.
may or may not be listening, but this person is an adult male who, is a retired professional NFL player who we were friends for many years. Came back into, my life. He lived somewhere else, trying to help him take care of some stuff that, he needed to. Well, resentful because I'm
Was
trying to
that what?
help you.
You cut out. You cut out. Was that what?
So trying to help, take care of some things that he needed to take care of.
Okay.
So either you want me to help you or you don't. But I'm trying to tell you what you need to do because obviously you don't know what you need to do. But
Okay.
now you're mad because I'm telling you how to help. I'm trying to help you handle your business. Now you're resentful to me when I know historically I was reluctant to even talk to this person because historically that's all he's dated was white women. And I was reluctant because I'm like, so why are you interested in me at this point? But I entertained it.
Did
But what I
did he
realized,
marry
what
one?
I
Did he get married?
no,
Okay, so
no.
he was just doing what he do. He preferred what he preferred and he was just having fun or whatever, but he never married. Had he ever
But
talked to you about getting married?
to who? To me?
To you. Had y'all ever had a
Oh, it
conversation like
ain't
that?
it ain't been long enough. But no,
Okay,
I
okay,
realized early enough that that's not something that I want.
okay,
But
okay.
but let me say this. So what I've known because we've been friends for many years, and me watching him through those relationships being exactly what I said to you about the younger boys preferring white women because that was his experience. The black girls didn't like him when he was in high school. They thought he was ugly and, called him black and all of that. But as soon as, you know, college came, those are the ones who were there for him. Now, were they there for him knowing or, at the coaching of their parents or whatever to be like, yeah, he gonna go first round kind of thing. But whatever the reason, they were there for him.
Let me say something about that. I know
Hmm.
I have some friends of mine who this is like right up. This is right on time. I have some friends of mine who young men went off to college and they ended up with white girls and white women and married them. And these guys maybe would have made it to the NFL, maybe made it to the NBA. You see what I'm saying? Maybe made it to to the league, and they didn't. And guess what? Let me just say this to you guys. I don't know how they're gonna take this or how y'all gonna take this. They're still married today. All right.
Yes,
You see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't
yes,
take the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA for them white girls to fall off. When these guys didn't make it to the league, they're still married with children and they still have they're in PTA and they're living, they living
yes.
regular
And I
lives.
know some of those too. I know some of
It's
those
we
couples.
tend to have this perception that these white girls are with these football players or baseball, basketball players, and they just got them their senior year of school because they
No,
hit the lottery of the draft, and it don't really work that way. And a lot of people don't understand that that's not how it happens. This type of
right.
things happen a lot earlier than college.
Right. Just like I explained to you about my child that's here with me. You know, he started dating this girl in high school. So if they were to continue and stay together, there'll be some people who would look at it in the same way that we're having a discussion today, when I know that it would have been different, that they've been together since high school
Hmm.
kind of thing. So I just but in speaking about the gentleman that I was talking to you about,
Uh-huh.
just seeing that, I know that that was his history. Well, that's all I'll say about that.
Okay,
It's just
that's
I
good.
know that that was his history and what his reasons for. But I guess eventually they see the light. Maybe
Well,
I don't know.
I think what happens is they go where they're wanted, and
Yeah,
people go where they want it. I say this about money. Money go where it's best spent. That's just what,
right,
that's how I feel about a lot of things in life. I don't judge a black man because he's with a white girl, and I don't judge a black woman because she's with a white man or any other type of man. I think that they just might experience different things in life, and that's what guide them to go there. I don't think that people say, I'm not going to be with a black man because black men ain't shit. I ain't gonna be with a white woman. I ain't gonna be with a black woman because black women ain't shit. Now, I think that there are some barriers in place that make them feel like, okay, I am not gonna deal with black women anymore, that do these type of things, or I'm not gonna deal with a white man that do these type of things, because nobody's perfect. White men aren't
right,
perfect. Black women aren't perfect. Nobody's perfect. You see what I'm saying?
right,
So we're all gonna find these little things that we call roadblocks that'll, oh, okay, this is a telltale of how this individual worked. Like a white guy might be very controlling. Sisters ain't going for no controlling brothers. They ain't going for no controlling white man either. You see what I'm
right.
saying? It's just not gonna happen. So, you
And
know,
my thing is with my child is that if I just didn't want him to get to a point to where he makes the decision that he's not going to date black women at all because of how maybe he might have been treated when he was younger, or if that is, you end up with somebody like that's outside of your race and that's who you love, that's fine. But the problem for me is if you just prefer that
yeah,
particular
yeah, yeah, yeah,
person
yeah, yeah, yeah,
outside of your
yeah,
race, then to
yeah.
me, I think that you might have some self-hate issues.
Well, yeah, there's a level of that. There's a level of I think people get self-hate twisted. When you say self-hate, it almost sounds like you don't like yourself. I think it's people that don't like people that look like them. I guess that's self-hate, right? When
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it
For
is
whatever
self-hate, but
reason,
yeah,
for whatever
but
reason,
but what
yeah.
happens is this. I think people who don't understand the term self-hate, I was one of them at one point. Like, I love myself. Don't ever say that I self-hate. I think because I
Hmm.
might make some judgments about people that look like me, they call me self-hate because I'm part of that group. So you're part of it, so you have to hate yourself to have those opinions. That's how I was taking it before. And I
Hmm.
understand it to be that way now. However, I don't think that people understand that if a black man is with a white girl and stuff like that, it's not always about self hate. It might just be he has an opportunity to do things that haven't been in front of him before. That's just my opinion. Or there might be some self-hate. Maybe he don't like how black women were treating your son, your stepson. I don't know what his position is, but like the young man that you brought into your home, he may have some resentment towards black women because of how black women treated him coming up. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And that might be why he prefers, what he's doing.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know.
well, he's good now, so he dates around the rainbow, and I'm good with that. I just don't want him to prefer, unless he says to me, "I just prefer black women." Then that makes all the sense to me. But if he
Well, of course that makes
prefers
sense to
somebody
you.
outside of our race in a way that I feel like is unhealthy, then he and I need to have a conversation.
I understand. Can I ask you a question? You on Wyatt Live? I got to ask you one that it might be off mark a little bit, but
Mhm.
I'm sorry if you choose not to answer it. I understand. You say you're single, right, Kathy?
I am.
Okay, I heard what you said about all of this, right? But now let me
Mhm.
ask you, as a sister, would you entertain dating anyone outside your race?
I have
Okay.
at a very early age. I did.
No, I mean, would you do it now?
Um, to be honest, I would prefer not to, but the
Ain't
door
it?
is not closed on that.
So
You
that
know, I
the
love
answer
black
the
men.
answer
I
to
love
that
my black
is
men,
the
but
the answer to that is you would. Okay, and I'm not mad at you for that, because there's gonna be some sisters, they better not be holding their breath, because if they sitting back waiting for somebody that's not coming to come because of what they prefer, they might just be alone the whole time. And that's just
I,
how I feel about a lot of it. People get angry because I say that,
hmm
but it's the truth. Go do you, Kathy, do what makes you happy, because if you're
and I
sitting
do.
back waiting for somebody to be your all, it's gonna be tough if you don't open up the door for everybody to walk in. And I,
I
I
hear
mean
you.
that respectfully.
I hear you.
All right. Thank you for
All
calling,
right.
Kathy. Call
Mhm.
sometime. Call
All right.
more often. All right.
I will. I
Appreciate you.
do.
All right.
I will.
Talk to
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Yeah, that was Kathy Goodwin. I appreciate it. I wanted, yeah, she did say she was one of the good ones. I grew up with some good ones in the Fae. One of my better friends, David Goodwin, and all of those. I had that conversation a long time ago about women. It's been a long time now, ladies. It's been decades. My black women, it's been decades. And I had a conversation some time ago when Wyatt Live first started. I think we were in year 2. And I was saying that I personally think that women, you all have the leverage. And if you want black men to be better, open the opportunity for other men to walk in. Okay. And I know that might sound bad, and I know brothers don't want to hear that shit, but look at brothers who do the same thing that sisters just choose not to do. Look at the brothers who date white women. I find it funny how most brothers who date black men who date white women are outside the race. It's not just white women, but they become loving husbands and fathers, and they stay in the homes, and the majority of them take care of their kids. And you're just gonna have some guys who gonna be guys and do some of the ratchet shit, and the relationship just didn't work out in some cases. But for the most part, the mixed marriages and the people that you know, I see brothers who are stand-up guys who taking care of their families. And I don't say to myself, or I don't say out loud, and I don't say on a podcast, why didn't he get a black woman? He could have raised a family with that black woman and all that. Because I see people like Dr. Umar Johnson who talk about queens and kings and taking care of seeds and wealth for the black family and all that old shit. And he got baby mamas. See what I'm saying? So I don't get caught up into these spokespeople. I don't, I don't, I don't get caught up into that. I think that in order for you to be 100, you have to be 100 with yourself instead of trying to be 100 with everybody else. You can be all you can be to somebody else and make be the spokesperson of this and this and this and that. But if you're not internally happy, you're not good for anybody else. Let me go to the phone lines real fast and get this one in. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
I'm back, Wyatt.
Hey, what's up, twin? Thanks for calling back.
Yeah, man. He was talking earlier and stuff about the guy, committing suicide and everything.
Uh-huh.
And you know, Man, it still hurt me to this day because my cousin, I think I probably told you the story. He was like a brother to me and everything. And he's supposed to went to his brother party and everything, and he was going through with the divorce and other issue was going on with him. But the time he was about to do some time, and he couldn't really, really get into it. Like he'd been to jail before, but he was under pressure, and then next thing I know, he supposed to went to the came to the party. He committed suicide.
Oh,
So that mental health stuff is really what because the devil be trying to trick you, man, come in your mind and everything. Like sometimes I be having like little issues and stuff because I didn't make it to my mama's funeral. I regret it sometimes why when her birthday or Mother's Day come because I
absolutely.
couldn't take it, man. Sometimes I even cry sometimes
Absolutely.
and everything. Because man, that's a hard pill, especially when you know your mom was there for you. Because my mama was a praying lady, man. She was a Jesus freak, man. I swear.
Yeah.
And we was a shorty, man. We used to go to church like 4 or 5 times a week. And I was like, man, this time we running, me and my brother. And it was me and my brother, mostly the ones that was going. So I was like, man, we can't do this no more.
Yeah.
So I could feel you about that. Cause, like I say, sometimes I cry
Yeah.
with this issue with the white man, white woman, whatever type. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I love my black sister, but some of them just got issues, man. But I feel like if
Here we
you love a
go.
person, you love a, you love a person, man. Even though they don't talk, they always talking about the black brother. But what about Kamala and Harris and all them? Y'all don't bring them up like you said. To each his own. That's why I mind my business, man. So I don't have no issue with it. So it seemed like to me the white girls taking over, whatever. They back in business, full effect. These sisters gave us something to, to talk about. It seemed like or grab whatever. Y'all didn't want him when he was in high school or whatever. Now he rich. Now y'all want him. So it seemed like the white girls just took over to me. I don't know, man. That's my opinion. I dated white girls and stuff and everything, but I ain't really stay with the relationship, whatever. But I dated them, so
I understand.
knocked them down.
Was it a
Knocked them.
preference? Did you put white girls over black girls for a specific reason, or you just dated
Hell
whatever girl?
no. When I was out there in the street hustling, uh, I used to, you know, trap with they little people and everything, and that's how I got acquainted with them
I understand.
and everything. And
But it was
I
never
could go,
just seeking out white
huh?
girls and dating a white girl because you thought that was the grass was greener on the other side. You just whatever woman you take on any
Hell
woman.
yeah, cause I fell out. Why didn't she put me on?
I
I
understand.
fell off and stuff, and then when I went to my baby mom, I ain't got, and I want to say, B, I just bought you and paid your rent, you ain't got it. And so I say, don't worry about it. So I called Becky. Becky gave me, hey, baby, I have it within the hour, and Becky gave me that 3,000 and stuff, and I got on after I got out of jail. She put me on, and I still, still talk to her, thank her, and everything I want from her, I can get it. And then with no problem, like, what you need it for and all that, she ain't gonna question me about it. But, each his own. And, you got some sisters like that help you out, some won't.
Hmm.
But each his own. I don't knock nobody for who they love. It's about
I
love,
understand.
regardless of what
Well,
race you in, whatever.
all you
But to
got to
me,
do, bro, to get a better understanding of what you just said
mm-hmm.
is you need to hang out right around February and March. Hang out around what is that? The tax places. What's that one called? Century 20.
Jackson, hear it up.
Yeah, all them little tax places, man. Hang out around there. You'll see some sisters that go hard for they guys, because that's where you what you just described. We see that every year. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's the only.
saying to say the sisters don't do that. I find that to be. I have to disagree because I think, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think that um, I didn't agree with the Dr. Umar Johnson guy because I think that black women do invest in black men. I just think that
They
uh,
do. Some of them do.
yeah, they
I don't
not
know.
a
Some
lot
that
of them.
hypocrite want to be playing Africa. I don't know what he be on. He just hateful, man. Regardless, he just hate on anything. So I don't. Sometimes I don't agree with what he be talking about though.
Yeah, well,
He
I,
be
I I think there's a lot of hypocrisy in Dr. Umar, and I've said it to him.
Yeah,
I've said it to him, literally on the phone. And I just like, bro,
right.
like, I can't, if I bring you back on here, it's going to be a tough conversation. I mean, he'll probably eat me up because he's very articulate, and he's whirlpool. He can talk in circles, and he can change the narratives, and he can do a lot of different things. He's very gifted when it comes down
Mm-hmm.
to debating and having a conversation. He's very well rounded. His territories are deep. He can go to deep water. He's very good at it. And I'd rather not have that conversation because I can shut it down with just one question. And then he'll I know how to deal
Yeah,
with people
I
like that.
understand, man. I understand, but I don't too much, listen to him because we from African and man, man, I'm from Chicago. My people probably, well, I ain't never been no African, so
I
I
feel
can't talk about something I don't know about.
I feel you on that.
And my ancestors, all them, whoever they from over there, if I don't even know them, so I only know my grandma and her people. I can't go real deep in everything into all that crazy stuff. Man, I'm from Chicago. I don't know nothing about Africa. I
I
just
feel
know
you.
it's on the map.
I feel
They
you.
show the history and stuff about other than that. I don't know nothing pan African. You from here? Yeah, all right, man.
Yeah.
Gone with that
Well, if you're gonna
historical
talk
shit.
Pan African, if you're gonna do all of that, you got to be it. That's all I say. If you're gonna talk about kings and queens, you got to be. You have to be.
Exactly.
You have to be a
Right.
king. If you're gonna talk about facilitating queens and queens being in your life, you have to have one. That's just my. I mean, I don't think teachers are. I think they're more. I think teachers should be more hands on, and you should be able to see how they do versus what they say. That's just me. Give
Exactly.
me a
All right,
teacher.
man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Talk to you, twin. Thank you. I want to show you this clip before I get out of here. I don't know if E is on yet, but I know this is a touchy situation or conversation because it's really opinionated. I don't think there's a right answer. I think that the sisters that are on here saying they only will date black men, I think that's your opinion, and I think that's fine. I think you'll have some black women on here that say I'm willing to date anybody. I seen Jerica made a comment. I don't know if it was towards me or what, but she said something to the nature of, I think it might have been something that I said. It was something, where is it? I don't know exactly where it was, but it was something about you would date black men or, wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Once I made that H&R block comment, shit on the, on the chat went a little crazy. I wanted to say something about it while my man was on the phone, but I didn't know. I didn't want to interrupt twin. And I really wanted to know what was going on with the comment. Like, why did that come up? I don't know if I can find it. Oh, here it is. She said, "What? If you want to date a black man, date outside your race?" Maybe I said something and it came out like if you want to date black men, that's cool, but if you want to just be happy, date whoever you want to date. I don't know. Maybe I said it a wrong way. This is live. I can't edit it. So maybe I said something that came out the wrong way, but I think when I was talking to Kathy, that's what I was telling her, to be happy. Just do what she needs to do to be happy. Um, Jack Meow said it's not 3 p.m. All right, I'm gonna give you all I got until then. Okay. Can somebody tell me what's going on with E? I don't know if he's going on. E, are you here? If you're here, can you let me know if you're going on, and if so, what time? Because I got this video I want to show. It's very short, but it's someone's opinion. It's a black guy. It's a brother's opinion of Jericho said you said that. Open the door for men of other races. Yeah, I did. I stand by that. I stand by that. Let me play this video real fast. It's short. I just want you to say, Crystal said, "Don't run now." I'm y'all know I got E. If E is on, I gotta go. I don't want to step on his toes on his time. I'm never running. If that's what you think, Crystal. I'm a man. I stand on what I say, sis. I really do. Hold on one second. I want y'all to see this little clip. Now, this is a young man who has some D1 friends, and these are guys that play D1 ball, and they talk about. I know, Chris. I was just playing. Thanks, Jack me off. Anyway, this young man right here has some things to say. Now, this is what our young brothers are saying about dating the white girls in college. All right, you heard the one video I played with the sister and what she said. These white girls catch them early. They invest in them. They do their homework. They drive cars. They do things. They take care of them while they in school. They do things for them. Well, listen to what this brother says. This is gonna probably be something that the sisters are used to hearing, and they probably not gonna like. They're not gonna like this one too well. But anyway, it's here, and I'm here for it. Check it.
Why are all these black college athletes that are getting drafted having white women? What's going on? I am going to tell you, as someone that is friends with a lot of D1 football players and D1 basketball players, I'm going to tell you because they have told me. Whoa. Before I get into this, I want to make it clear I'm only into black women. I'm just telling you what they have told me. My man said, bro, how many white women have you seen do the Meg Thee Stallion challenge? And he said, excluding the ones that think they're 2 shades away from being Lotto. I said, probably only 1. He said, okay. Y'all, 5 of my guys that play on Division I Power 5 football teams, and they were like, Goody, you know the type of NIL deals we got. One of my men said, bro, I was messing with this black girl. She heard about the deal I got and started to request money, Apple Pays and Cash Apps for her hair and nails. Oh, shit. My other friends were saying, bro, I would try to take her out to Chipotle, Kava, this and that. She would get mad talking about, why are we going to steakhouses? You're good for it. I said, oh, shit. So they were like, bro, the white women, they're down to go and get a cup of coffee, go and get some fucking ice cream. My friends were like, bro, the white women we're dating, they pay for a lot of our stuff. I said, what do you mean? They said, bro, they know that we're making some money, but while we're at practice or we're at camp, they got us our favorite Kava bowl, double chicken, right? Waiting for them to come out of practice. My friends are telling me these girls are getting their group projects done, getting their essays done, online tests done on time.
AKA that's what it's about. That really is what.
Wait, what? I said, bro, what about maintenance? There's no way y'all are not paying for her hair, nails, bags, her lifestyle. He said, bro, first of all, my girl will get her own Starbucks and even get me one, but if I want to be nice, I'll get her something, from Starbucks. And they were like, hair and nails. They don't even care about the nails, really, And if they do it themselves. Sometimes I pitch in, and I was like, all right, what about hair? They were like, bro, she's white. She just brushes it. We're flat irons it. She wants to be special. Jesus Christ, you're saving a lot of money. One of my men said this. He just got drafted. He said, bro, I was dating a black girl. Now I'm dating a white girl. I'm about to marry her. He said the difference between the black girl and the white girl, the biggest difference is the white girl knows when to shut the fuck up. I said, God damn. Listen, this is what they told me. Do with the information as you please. If it takes me 10 to 15 years to find a black woman that's compatible with me, that's what I'm going to do. But this is what they told me. So stop being surprised.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody was waiting for, one of them type of messages. I don't know. I think that's very stereotypical. I think that to say that black women want their hair and nails and all that done, I haven't been in college in I don't know how many years, but white girls didn't ask me to get their hair done. I just didn't get that. I didn't get it. I didn't get it from black girls in college either. But I'm gonna be honest with you. This ain't gonna come off too smooth. Jerica, I'll do it. I'm gonna play that Dr. Umar video. I'm gonna play that video, Dr. Umar, just to give you a better idea of what's going on with how. See, my thing is, I don't know why black women deal with black men. I don't. That's my thing. It's to be honest with you, it's gonna sound crazy as hell, but the shit that black men put black women through, I don't understand why y'all the ones that don't go out and explore other men. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, fellas, but the shit, all these baby mamas and all that, I'm sorry, bro. I don't understand why black women deal with us. And we got a nerve to sit back and say that we don't, that they don't invest in us. They probably invest in, I know they make bad investments all the time. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the one to say it. I know women that's been with dudes for 20 years, 25 years, and he can't even say marriage. This lady didn't birth his kids. She didn't did it all. And he won't talk about marriage. It's just crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this energy that we have right now, and I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a part 2. So from my understanding, my man E is on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a part 2, and we'll finish talking about this tomorrow. All right? So peace and love to everybody, man. That's my time. Go watch E. Y'all better act like you know.
This is MC Light. This is MC Light. Moonroof open in the BM. Windows tinted, they can't see in. They know it's me though, MC Light. She's bigger than Bolo. Gusto, I got so much so you could have some, you just got to lay low. Do as I say so and don't try to fess. Do what you wanna, just clean up the mess. I'm here, kicking in the rear. Rhymes and rhymes and rhymes, I got to spare. Act like you know. The things that I do just ain't for show. This is my living, so I am giving everything I got, if not a lot more. For the people, for the buyers, for all of those that seem to wanna try her. MC Light tape in your Benzie box. What can I say? Hey, thanks a lot, cause I flip and trip and do all that good shit. That's why the brothers, they can't get off my tip. They know whose show this is. Whose show is this? Swinging it solo, enjoying my freedom. Turn the radio on, nothing but weak rap. Slap a tape in, that's where it's at. Look up at the sign and I see Winthrop. Can't hear nothing, so I turn down the hip hop. Window down, reggae hit or something now. Hit a little shotty, go pow, pow, pow. Brooklyn 90s, that's where I'm at. Reach to the backseat, get the baseball hat. Now I'm chilling, so act like you know. This is my show. Changing it, breaking all types of grounds. Here comes Wolf and Epic with the new sound. They get the job done. The name of the year is like /91. So I'm chilling in the BM, waiting for those that might see in. Straighten my jacket, fix my hair, turn up the system as I prepare to let the whole wide world know this is my show. Now that I've schooled you and put you up on a scoop, posse or mossy, solo group, take it in stride. It's an inside, top secret, heavy duty type of thing that I'm swinging. I got the key to success, but I won't press. I'm sure that I can relieve you of the stress if you admit and just permit me to go for mine and drop a line and exit. So just agree with me and simply act